It's a new year, 2025, episode 172. Colin, Joey, we're back. We're getting closer to 200 after all these years. Is that a good thing
How
or a
will
bad
we?
thing at this point?
I don't know.
Joey, I'll
Haven't
leave
gotten
that decision
many.
up to you. Is it good? Is it bad?
I mean, I haven't been doing it for 200, so I mean, it's bad for you guys, not for me.
Colin, did you know you picked a 3DO game today?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
At least it's from the 3DO company. It's not. I don't know if it's on the 3DO itself.
It is not on the 3DO, but it was by the 3DO company, which means it's a 3DO game.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
But I have a good reason for picking that one.
Yeah. Keep listening to see if if we passed a 3DO game.
Let's see.
So, Colin, today you are starting off the year with your theme pick. What is it and why?
It is mass destruction. Games where blowing shit up is the order of the day. And I picked it because, like I said in the previous cast, I want to start this year off with a bang.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of bangs, in fact.
Okay. So, I wanted to start out this year personally with I saw this going around X, the Everything app. Perhaps you've heard of this thing.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Doesn't ring a bell. Okay. I think it's called Twitter. That's what normal people call it still.
Still doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah. All right. And people were making their gaming New Year's resolution list. Just games you hope and want to beat heading into the new year in 2025. So I came up with, off the top of my head, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 games. I got 10 games listed. And I was wondering what you guys came up with heading into 2025. Hope you guys made your list.
I did.
I can guess
I did make a
Joey
list.
made a list of 3 in his head just now.
No, I didn't make a list. I don't
You
plan on
suck.
beating any games.
You're not going to beat Elden Ring?
I don't think I will. I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably not gonna beat it. I mean, I'll probably beat Last of Us 2, or whatever the hell, Part 2, whatever hell I bought. I haven't played yet.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, I don't really plan when I play. As soon as I finish something, I go look for something else. So I'm not one to make a list.
Well, it sounds like your list right now consists of Elden Ring with a frowny face and Last of Us 2, and then you have no idea what you're going to play for the rest of the year.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, that's fair. That's fine. Live on the edge, live in the moment. I'm okay with that. I also have Elden Ring on my list with a crying face because I don't know if I'll beat it either.
I mean, I'm enjoying it. I just don't really enjoy the bosses that are in a room. I like the bosses that are out in the open world. So that's probably why I'm not going to defeat it, because the bosses inside rooms kick my ass.
Yeah, makes sense to me. I remember in Dark Souls 1, there was a couple bosses inside like a closed space of some kind, and it just drove me insane. I absolutely hated it, and at one point I thought I couldn't complete the game without beating it, and then I stopped. So that's where I stood on the first Dark Souls, but 3 was just too hard. Couldn't beat it. Same thing with Sekiro. Colin, you beat Sekiro, right? You're a good gamer, unlike us.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he's good. All right.
More
Colin, what-
tenacious.
Yeah, tenacious. Colin, what is your list?
Well, I just got started on Infernax a few weeks ago.
I enjoyed
so
that
that's
game.
on my list. Yes, I am. I've cleared like 3 of the 5 dungeons to unlock the final dungeon so far. It's very fun. It's like very Zelda 2-esque with a bit of Castlevania 2 in there. There's even a part where if you do like in Castlevania 2, kneel down next to a corner, a tornado comes in, but instead of warping you somewhere, it kills you. And then the text on the screen says, "If only Lord Alcidor knew that that kneeling down in that exact spot would bring a killer tornado his way."
Yeah, I did that when I played the game as well. I was like, I wonder.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
But
I
thankfully
died.
the game.
It does that a few times in the game. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. But it doesn't penalize you too much for it. It's just meant to be a joke, so it's all good. And next on my list is South Park Stick of Truth, obviously. Still haven't touched it in such a long time, but I really want to
Okay.
continue with it. And Space Marine 2. I started it, but didn't continue with it just yet.
Is Space Marine 2 a resource collection game just in space? Like you're a space miner? Or am I thinking of something completely different?
You're probably thinking of something different. This is
Okay.
more like hack and slash along the lines of I don't want to say Dynasty Warriors. It's more like, I guess, Nier Automata, but a way more violent.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Or
I
Stellar
will
Blade. Stellar
name
Blade, that's a good compare.
Stellar
Good
Blade.
comparison.
Space Marine. Now I got to look it up because Stellar Blade was like my favorite game last year I played.
And that's also a pretty bloody game.
Space Marine 2. Okay, let's see. Warhammer?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it just came out recently.
images. See a lot of still arts.
You're basically fighting hordes of xenomorphs from Alien.
Okay, I got you.
chainsaws.
I got you here. Okay, got it.
Yep. It's quick fun.
Warhammer Space Marine 2. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So I'll name 3 now myself.
Oh, wait. I got like 6 more.
I know. We're gonna go 3 and 3 and 3 and 3 and that kind of thing. That way we're not one
Okay.
person's not talking the whole time. Okay, I got Elden Ring as well, Crying Face.
Okay.
Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. These are both games one game I started last year, didn't get very far, and Tears of the Kingdom has been on hold for like 2 years since its release. So I gotta beat these 3 at some point in 2025 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, now you can go.
All right. Next on my list is Armored Core 6. I still haven't beaten that one, but I really want to. Like I had a blast with it when I was playing it, but for whatever reason, I just kind of drifted away.
I'm the same, but that's not a priority game for me right now.
Nah, yeah. And Blaster Master 03 is next. I've already beaten the first 2, and I want to clear this one. I'll probably get started on it after I'm done with Infernax.
03 specifically?
Yes.
Okay.
I've beaten 01 and 02. And Sea of Stars is next on my list.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Haven't even touched it yet, but it's sitting there calling to me. And I want to play it, but I just never, for whatever reason, I just never actually do it.
Yeah, I never went through and bought the game. Same thing with Pizza Tower, among a few others on the Switch.
Yeah. I know that feeling.
Okay,
What's your
so
next 3?
I got this is going to be kind of into one because it's in one game, but it's Cotton 2 and Cotton Saturn Reboot. I've actually started Cotton 2. I would say halfway through the game before I died and had the game over. So this is more of a sense of, can I even complete all the stages? Much shorter. So we're counting that as 1. Because I think if you go through in one motion, I think both of them combined come out to like 3 or 4 hours. But it's probably going to take me closer to 6 to 8 to complete it all. Final Fantasy 15. That's been on the plan to beat list for years.
I hear that.
Gotta finally do that. And Snatcher. I want to play and beat that again in 2025.
Okay. And my next three, Dave the Diver. I still haven't fully beaten it, even though I'm so far into it. But I guess I kind of fell off of it because it was my toilet game, but then all of my different playthroughs started going really, really long on work nights. That just doesn't work for me.
Speaking of Dave the Diver, Joey, did you ever play the Godzilla DLC that came free?
No, I haven't played that yet.
Oh, it is a blast.
Yeah,
Should definitely do
I
that.
haven't played either of the DLCs yet. But it's just like Sea of Stars, it's calling to me, and I keep ignoring it.
Yeah,
But
between
anyway,
Dave the Diver, Lies of P, and Stellar Blade, those are my like 3 favorite games I've played in the last few years. Of all things.
nah, yeah. And next up is Stellar Blade, another one I still haven't beaten, or even touched, but it's there calling to me. And Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Started that one, played a couple of levels, but didn't get back to it. Got sidetracked by Infernax.
Calamity. I'm writing all these down, because then I'm going to check them all off as we go through the year.
Yeah. And I've only got one more, so I'll just say it now.
Okay.
The Castlevania expansion to Dead Cells. I haven't touched that at all. I've beaten the original game, but I haven't played the Castlevania DLC yet.
All right. Dead Cells DLC Castlevania. Okay. I think
And that's
Sea of
pretty much it for
Stars
me.
is going to be the big one.
Yeah.
Well, Stellar Blade's like a 35-hour game. That's no short one either.
Yeah. And Space Marine should be pretty short. I think it's like maybe 20 hours tops.
You consider that a short game?
Hey, compared to other games.
I guess, yeah. I mean, Elden Ring is going to be like 300.
Yep. It's like Witcher 3.
Oh, my God. Don't even get me started on that one.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Joey beat Astrobot over the holiday.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did.
What was your
Oh, yeah.
least
How
favorite
long-
level, or at least most challenging?
Ooh. Probably one of, I think, the triangle levels.
I could picture that one in my head, like immediately. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
One of them took me 30 minutes.
Yep. Yeah.
And I know you thought like the last one to get the golden bot would be difficult, but I actually beat that in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'd say that's like the second or third hardest level in the game. There's one on the triangle level that also took me like half an hour. Absolutely.
I'm looking at how long to beat for Space Marine 2, and it says the main story is 9.5 hours. Yeah, but for completionist, it's 62.5 hours.
Oh my God. So it's a lot of junk in the middle, yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God. Let's see. I have Silent Bomber and Intelligent Cube on my list. These are 2 retro games that I really enjoy, but I've never actually completed either game.
Alright.
So that's kind of knocking them off the list. And then God of War Ragnarok. I've started the first couple hours. I've put that off to the side for now to play Black Myth Wukong, which is on the list. Officially started that, and this game is just super duper fun. I just love I'm really into these, not so much linear or open world, but the just action based world in general. So it doesn't have to be a Dark Souls clone, doesn't have to be Elden Ring type. It just has to be, I guess the God of War / Castlevania, what was it, Lords of Shadow or something, like that realm of just give me good action mechanics, good gameplay, and a semi-interesting world, and you've hooked me. And Black Myth Wukong is definitely right there with just the absurd amount of Chinese lore to look into and what it all means, and the Monkey King, and it's a pretty wild game. Kind of freaky with all the different like Buddha temples and imagery, and all. It makes it seem like it's more of a horror game than though this is religious. It's more freaky than anything else. So yeah, that's my list. So
That's kind of like blasphemous.
yeah, exactly. I think Blasphemous was that realm. Was supposed to be religious horror kind of situation.
Yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Joey, do you own a PS5 game that you haven't beaten yet?
Haven't beaten yet. I mean, Last of Us 2. I bought it, but started playing Astrobot and then Elden Ring. I mean, I haven't beaten Elden Ring either, but everything else I have, I think I've beaten.
Okay.
Except for It Takes Two, because Megan's slowing me down on that.
All right, add in that. It Takes Two. There we go. Got 3. It Takes Two. There we go. I wanted to get you to 3 at least. Did you ever play there's another co-op one where it's like 2 prisoners and they escape?
I've heard of that one. Can't remember the title.
Cuz that's another
Daylight?
No.
Daylight something?
No.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, let me look this up. Cuz you might be really into that with Megan as well. Let's see here. 2 prisoners escape.
Oh, it's A Way Out.
A Way Out. Yeah, that's the one.
Cool stuff.
That's the one. Okay. So I wanted to bring this up. I've over the I mentioned before right after Thanksgiving that I had purchased a like retro handheld device of some kind. And
Yes.
It came in just before Christmas, and Joey was with me, like trying to hunt down like a micro SD card and a converter to pump it into a laptop and everything. The SD card and the OS system that came with this first retro handheld that I bought was very faulty. And it turns out the board just kind of doesn't work properly. Like the games can't save. It freezes all the time. It just causes a lot of failures. No. A real bummer, but the concept is like right there. And so I did a little bit more research. I purchased a different one this time around. So the first one I got it's called the R36S. It's by a British something or another, and it uses an OS called Arc. Okay, Arc OS. Very functional, cool little UI. Really enjoy that. It just has a hard time running like N64 games. Doesn't really run a lot of Dreamcast games. PSP, it kind of struggles with a bunch. And the buttons on this, it's more of a vertical, kind of looks like a Game Boy Color. It's kind of what it's based off of. The problem is the D-pad is kind of shitty. The analog sticks are okay, but the real downside is the A, B, X, Y buttons are very clicky. Everything's very clicky, and it causes a lot of delay while you're playing. And I thought that was just unacceptable. Because I was about to just say, okay, I can only play games where I like don't need to save at all. I'll just keep, it's a quick pick up and play kind of thing. 5-minute break at work, on the toilet, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the input delay was so bad throughout it, I couldn't do it. So don't recommend the R36S, even though it's like 80% functional. And I admit, I got a very like faulty version of it. So did more research, and I have come across this just absurd amount of retro handheld community kind of thing. Because over the last It kind of started during COVID. I guess people got bored and they just started making shit. Okay.
Okay.
And now there's just a slew over the last 4.5 years, because we'll call it 6 months development, and now we're at this point in 2025. There's a slew of these things out there. Different companies, different models. Everything's kind of pseudo-modeled after, like, maybe a Super Nintendo controller, a PSP, a Vita, a Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. You get the idea. Everything has a base model, okay? And they all have wacky names like 35XX or RG63, or they got all these different like numerical names. And what it comes down to is you just gotta kind of find which one is gonna suit your kind of style of play and what games you're gonna kind of gravitate towards the most. So with me, I'm like, okay, I play a lot of PS1 games, so I need a 2 analog stick device of some kind. I'm not going to spend $200 on a retro like handheld thing, but a lot of these have Bluetooth or Wi-Fi capabilities. You can hook in a mini USB and hook it into your television, and then some of these you can hook up like a Switch controller, a PS4 controller, something with Bluetooth capabilities, and then it's just like a Raspberry Pi at that point. So they're very multifunctional. A lot has improved over the last 4 years. I've been perusing just numerous YouTube accounts that cover a lot of this, and I mean, one guy posted a picture of like a kitchen table, and he had like 40 of these different things. I mean, it's insane how many different ones there are. I decided in getting what's called the Anberneck. Okay, bear with me. RG40XXH. Okay.
Okay.
It's essentially modeled after the Vita. Okay. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit taller. About the same in width. It does not have a touchscreen. It does have Bluetooth Wi-Fi capabilities. Now, what you need to do with a lot of these handhelds and the community with how they like custom firmware these things and everything, basically you need a micro SD card, at least 64 gigs, to run the operating system, because a lot of these come with kind of shitty SD cards. Okay, so it's essentially you're buying the console, and then you're importing a lot of the ROMs. One's going to run an OS of your choosing, essentially, and then you're going to have a second micro SD card slot that has all your ROM games on there. Okay, so the Anberneck doesn't have a very interesting UI system, but it runs great. The buttons were way better. It's much more ergonomic. Very much enjoy it, and it only costs like $50. Okay, both these things I bought. Like the first thing I bought was $40. This was $50. Now I find myself kind of, do I want a different UI system? Do I want to what's called scrape? And that's like getting fancy box art next to all the games. Like, is that necessary? No. But I went through a bunch of like the games on my 2025 New Year's resolution list. I was like, okay, is Snatcher going to run well on the Sega CD? Runs perfect. No input delay, no nothing. Save states are super simple. Silent Bomber worked fine. Crash Bandicoot works fine. Intelligence Cube was working great. So it plays all the games that I'm going to gravitate towards, and even Mario 64 with the 64 emulator worked fine. There was no lagging to a lot of things. There was some like visual cutouts that was going on, but I think that's par for the course with a lot of N64 emulators, especially on handhelds.
Okay.
So I was very surprised with kind of this just retro handheld uprising, if you will, with what's happened over the last number of years, and I just had no idea like this existed. Did you guys know about any of this?
No.
And the only thing I even remotely have my eye on is the Odin Pro. I mean, that sure, it costs almost $300, but it looks really solid.
Odin Pro.
Yep.
Okay, I'm looking at this.
I mean, it
okay.
operates on like an Android OS.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to run something with an Android OS, that's going to run you more expensive, from what I can tell. Not totally
but,
necessary, but Colin, you
feel
might
like
want to
you've got-
look into what I just had if Android isn't a necessity, because a lot of these things run off Linux.
I more or less want something that will run N64 games seamlessly. Then I can fulfill that old childhood fantasy of mine of playing Zelda Ocarina of Time on the go. I know that's a weird desire, but it's still there. I mean, sure, there's the Zelda, or there's the 3DS version, but it's just not the same. I want the original N64 version.
Well, Joey, you have a Steam Deck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could probably
Yeah,
easily
kinda.
just throw some emulators on there and play a lot of these retro games. I imagine.
Yeah, I'm
Good if
kind
I
of
wanted
looking
to.
at that too. 'Cause it sounds like it's compatible with emulators, or at least people have made emulators compatible with it. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll look into getting that.
I mean, it is
Yes.
a Linux computer, so
Makes sense.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Steam Deck runs on Linux?
yeah, Steam OS is Linux.
Wow, okay. Cool.
Look at that.
Didn't know that. So yeah,
That
these
makes
these have
two.
just exploded over the last number of years. And now I think in late 2023 through 2024, we've gotten to a point where they're all working like super well. A lot of companies, I'll call them quote unquote companies, have kind of settled on sticks and buttons and designs and that kind of thing. I think I might get another one because they're super cheap and affordable. More in the line of like a Game Boy type situation design, because that's what I originally kind of wanted. The problem with those is when they have L1 and L2 type buttons, they're horizontal in the back. So that takes a lot getting used to, rather than them kind of sitting on each other where you can use two fingers instead of just one.
Yeah. I got you.
All right.
Did you do anything special for the holidays besides all this retro handheld stuff?
Joey and I got super drunk in downtown Houston during a absolute downpour.
You got super drunk.
Okay, I got super drunk. Joey was very pacey.
And we went to a Christmas bar.
We did go to a Christmas bar. We went all out. It was very funny. We're in one bar. We see the Christmas bar down the street. So we go to a second bar and we're like, all right. And Joey's like, I'm buying the tickets. You just buy the booze in there. So you do have to have tickets. And I'm just watching him go, do we want hats? Okay, we want hats. Do we want Christmas lights as a necklace? I'm looking at him. He goes, okay, decided. We're getting the Christmas lights. So I'm like, okay.
That's pretty funny.
It was an all-day thing. Started watching soccer at like 9, 10 in the morning.
Yeah, let's see. It took about an hour for me and my old ass Jeep stick shift to get all the way to you. And then we drove to the bar. We watched Chelsea lose. Let's see. We watched Newcastle absolutely murder whoever they played. I think it was Crystal Palace, wasn't it? No.
I don't remember.
I don't remember who Newcastle beat the shit out of. I remember there was a very weird red card that made no sense.
Yeah, it was a terrible red card.
And then from there we went to, was it Eighth Wonder? I think Eighth Wonder was the next stop. We were
Yeah,
the
it was the
only
next
ones
one.
there. We were the only ones like in every bar.
I mean, it was a cold, rainy day. What was it?
Well, hold on.
day
Did you
after
say
Christmas?
cold?
For Houston standards, it was cold.
Nonsense.
It was chilly. I can't remember exactly. It was like, what, 60?
It was wet. It wasn't cold.
Yeah, cold for Houston standards.
Oh, God.
Yeah, was that Thursday after Christmas?
Yeah, it was Boxing Day.
Yeah. So I mean, people were probably working or with family.
I think everyone was just kind of relaxing from the holiday.
Yeah.
but more for us. We just throw up a hand, get a beer, no problem.
Yeah, we got to talk to the bartenders, the dude from Boston at a truck yard. So, interesting day.
Yeah, we watched a hockey game in there, the junior hockey tournament that was going on. It was a good day. It was good times. Spent a lot of time with family. Joey and I watched some terrible anime. Well, average anime, I guess.
Do tell.
A little bit. Oh, just a dumb thing called Beast Tamer. Joey, you watched it in 12 hours? In a 12-hour span, basically, the whole thing?
Yeah, I think that Friday I finished it. So the same day. Or no, I finished it Saturday morning.
Oh, man.
So it's an easy binge. It was okay. Nothing groundbreaking. Nothing too terrible.
Well, there's certainly a bunch this season that's come out that I'm super into. But that's for the anime cast.
Yeah, Solo Leveling Season 2 just started airing.
Oh my god, the episode that came out yesterday was incredible. Just awesome fights.
Yeah, I've only seen the first one so far. I've been waiting for the second one, but if it just came out, then I'll watch it today.
Yeah. Joey, have you seen Solo Leveling?
Yeah, I watched the first season and I read the manga.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, all up on it together. All right. Let's see. 30 minutes in.
For me, for holidays, nothing too special. I mean, it kind of since the holidays, Christmas and New Year's fell on Wednesdays this year, it screwed up my work schedule because we get those days off in the middle of the week, but then have to still work the remaining days going into Saturday. So that kind of messed up my sleep schedule. But I managed. And did anybody else see Sonic 3?
No, I haven't even seen the first two.
You suck.
Sonics are good movies. Jim Carrey is amazing in them.
Absolutely. I went with my brother's family and my parents because they happened to be looking after my nephews that weekend. And we all really enjoyed it. Although I still like Sonic 2 better, but this was entertaining enough. And my prediction for Sonic 4 came true. Amy Rose and Metal Sonic will be in it. Spoiler alert.
Sonic will be stalked. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
From both sides.
No.
Why
Bad image.
howdy.
All right, Colin.
Yep.
We're 30 minutes in. We got to get to your 2 games here. Not a whole lot to say over them, but nonetheless.
Yeah.
It's all yours.
Okay. So, first game is Blast Core on N64. Developed by Rare and published by Nintendo. Released on Nintendo 64 in Japan on March 21st, 1997. In North America on March 24th, 1997. In the PAL regions on December 22nd, 1997. The plot, yes, there's a plot, is as follows. I'm just going to read it straight from Wikipedia because it's pretty crazy. So the game's story takes place on a parallel Earth in which mankind lives in relative peace until an event occurs that threatens the lives of the whole planet. The national government of an unnamed country discovers that the transportation of 2 defective nuclear missiles has gone wrong after they begin leaking radiation. And the automated carrier transporting them becomes damaged as a result and automatically sets itself on a direct course for the site of a controlled detonation, basically placing it in danger where the slightest jolt from hitting buildings or falling into pits would trigger the missiles and cause a catastrophic explosion. To prevent this, the government hires the demolition company known as Blast Corps, founded by several former military soldiers who were stationed in the base the missiles came from. And using a variety of different machines to assist them, Blast Corps assigns a new recruit to help clear the carrier's path. while at the same time seeking out a group of missing scientists needed to conduct the safe detonation of the missiles. And that's pretty much it.
It's a wacky puzzle game.
Basically, yep. You're just using all kinds of machines to blow up buildings or demolish them. Whether it's
You butt stomp buildings.
yeah, high-tech bulldozers, little thing with little arms that push out on each side to
Horizontal
knock
pylons,
down
yeah.
parallel buildings. And the big dump truck that you need to power slide in order to demolish buildings. That one was a real pain in the ass. I hated that one. But yeah.
I enjoyed this game. Did I play it on my new retro handheld? I sure did. It's this is gonna be way easier for me to play these games now because of this thing that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just get the ROM, or it's likely already on there, and then I just boot it up and start playing. Way easier. This played seamlessly for me. I really enjoyed the growing difficulty level, and it was never daunting over what I was supposed to do, or the whole objective is to destroy something in a certain manner in a decent capacity to drive this truck through where you're destroying, and then there's different sorts of obstacles in your way constantly. I liked it. I liked this game a lot. It was very addictive.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things to do. Like sometimes you need to transport a bulldozer by train ahead of the truck to get to a spot.
You got like magnet things that has to take you from point A to point B across ravines or something. Yeah, it wasn't just straight up, here's a vehicle, destroy this. There was more to it in which how you're supposed to traverse the land as well. And that was a big key to kind of keep playing and how each level differed from the other. There's like 60 levels in this thing. There's a lot. I think I played up to 20, 25.
There's 57.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. There's also parts where you have to push crates of TNT up to a big skyscraper buildings to blow them up, because just running into them from the side isn't going to do anything. And there's also big mechs that you can hop into, just jump around, stomp on buildings, punch them, and shit like that. It's pretty fun.
I was not expecting mechs when I started just drifting around in a bulldozer.
Yeah. Yeah, and although the power slide vehicle is a cool idea in theory, but in practice it's just unwieldy and annoying.
Do you think this game would have been better in a more third-person-y kind of view, or did was the isometric the proper view for the game?
Well, you can change the camera angle with the C buttons, so it wasn't completely just isometric stuff. But
yeah, it's described as like a 3/4 overhead view kind of situation.
Yeah, the vehicles you use take up a lot of real estate on the screen. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, I kind of like the isometric view, but what would it have looked like if it was like true third person? That's an interesting question.
There's also like a time attack mode you can do. I always like it when you have a ghost that you're kind of going up against of your old self.
Yeah.
To try to do time attack modes. I always like that. Very few games utilize that. It's more or less a racing game thing. But even then, they just show you a clock. I just like the idea of racing against yourself. This game had that. There's a lot of positives to this game. I think this game's on the rare replay, if I'm not mistaken.
Might be.
Yeah, Wikipedia says it is.
Cool. Yeah, you can really tell from the music and sound design that this is a rare game. It really has that feel left over from stuff like Banjo-Kazooie and Conker's Bad Fur Day. God, my throat is really gunky this morning.
I wonder why this game felt familiar. I have Rare Replay for my Xbox One. Although I haven't played it in years, and I think I played this on that.
You had to have. Just be like, what is this? I give this game a pass.
Yep, easy pass.
Yeah, it was all right. I'll give it a pass.
Okay. Next.
All right. Next is Battletanx on the N64. 2 N64 games. Who knew? It's developed and published by the 3DO company. Total coincidence, I swear.
Yeah. I'm shocked they were still in business in the year 2000.
Yeah, who knew?
Or even close to 2000.
Yeah. And this was released on the N64 in North America on December 29th, 1998. There's also a Game Boy Color version, but that's not what we're talking about today.
Let's see, did the 3DO company make the sequel? They did. So they were active in 2000.
Go figure.
Okay. It was just after the sequel that 3DO went officially bankrupt. Okay, there we go.
That's funny.
There we go. 3DO company. What was the last game this company made? Let's see here. Do we have any guesses? Was it the sequel to Battletanx?
Something tells me no, but I'm keeping an open mind.
Let's see. I don't think it's gonna list by year. They had a bunch of Army Men games in development, but they were canceled due to the bankruptcy.
Ah, yeah. Makes sense.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah.
This game's plot was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit, but the main reason I wanted to talk about this one is the TV commercial. I'm gonna post the link right now. Have you guys seen it?
I have. Oh, maybe I have. All right.
Well, let's all watch it together. I want to get you guys' reactions.
All right. I definitely have seen this before with the fucking Snuggle Bear thing in the washing machine, basically.
Well,
Yeah,
let's
tank
play it.
like a Lego tank going in. Snuggle Bear has an arm ripped off. Always on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this commercial.
Yeah.
I just remember the first time I saw it, I just busted a gut laughing at it. Every time you think it's as funny as it can get, it just keeps topping itself. And the sight of the teddy bear on fire and running away from the tank still remains as one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Okay, it looks like
That
the
is-
last game that 3DO Company made was Army Men Operation Green for the Game Boy Advance in 2002.
Okay.
Yeah. I wonder if that game's any good.
Yeah. Well, I imagine you're going to have a look at it. I probably won't.
It has a 6 out of 10.
So, the plot.
Oh boy. This fucking plot.
Yeah. The plot is that a virus has decimated the female population of the world, and as a result, war has broken out all over, and tanks are blowing each other up every which way. And also, the main character is a man whose fiancée volunteered to be quarantined, and now he's fighting to get her back. You could never make this game today.
This game is a little too edgelordy.
Well, yeah. When you think of it just in the sense of cutscenes and plot, sure, it's very edgelordy.
You save the Queen Lords and you become Battle Lord after the end. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But there's family mode, Joey. It can't be that edgy. Oh my
But
god.
family mode doesn't even make sense. It's just deathmatch that you can't switch ammo.
Correct. You have to
You have
pick.
to
You have to
just
pick
use-
one thing, and everyone has the same stuff. So imagine we were playing Twisted Metal 3, and you could only use the ricochet bombs.
So stupid.
Those were good times,
Yeah.
though. The ricochet bombs on the Tokyo level, and we're just trying to barrel each other into the lava pits.
Oh boy.
Hey, those were fun. Love Twisted Metal 3. I don't care what anyone says.
This game just felt like a 3DO game to me.
Whoa, I mean, yes, but whoa.
Yeah, the controls are very simple. Joystick turns and moves you, and the Z button fires the main cannon. Rinse and repeat.
Yeah, it's a low end Twisted Metal game with not. I mean,
Yeah, not a lot of variety in how you play.
it's a functional, well made game for what it is. It's just, I think it just gets way too repetitive too quick.
Yeah, yeah, that was exactly my experience,
And like
and
Colin,
It's
we
really
played this
annoying
game together, didn't we?
I don't remember.
I swear we did.
I mean, you've mentioned Global Assault before, but I don't remember playing the original Battletanx alongside you.
Maybe we played Global Assault.
It's possible.
Let's
I
see.
find it funny that you're pretty much playing capture the flags with the Queen Lords. You have to go over to the base, capture your Queen Lord, and bring it back to your base.
Okay, we played Global Assault in 2017.
Thought so.
Yeah, and I played it with Kevin, is who I played it with. That makes so much sense. So I'm
There
like,
you go.
I kept thinking to myself the entire time, I've played this before.
Ah, boy.
I played the sequel. Okay. All makes sense now. The sequel's better.
I figured.
I don't remember if that was edgy or not, though. I think I would have remembered that. Let's see.
Yeah.
Was the sequel edgy? Let's see. The evil Queen Lord Cassandra is spying on Griffin Spade's family and orders her troops to kidnap Griffin's son Brandon and kill everyone else. Okay, it's definitely still edgy.
Oh boy.
Oh man, oh man. I mean, I'm gonna pass the game. It's still functional. The multiplayer can be fun. You can tell it's the first of the game, basically. But it's nothing I'd like outright recommend.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna fail it.
Ooh.
I give it a very, very soft pass just because it's playable.
Okay, so our two games were Blast Corps and Battletanx. Colin, why don't you go first?
Pretty easy decision. Blast Core is my favorite. And I give that one an A.
Ooh.
I give Battletanx a very low C.
Okay. I'm with you on Blast Corps over Battletanx. I'm at B and a D, actually.
Okay.
I might be a little like way too harsh on Battletanx, but knowing that I played the sequel and what they added to it, because Battletanx, what did I? We weren't given that ratings back then. Let's see. No. Yeah, I wasn't doing the same rating scale or anything in 2017. Good God, this podcast's been around a long time. Yeah, I'll stick with a B and a D. Joey?
I agree with you. Blast better, and I'll give it a B, and I'm giving Battletanks a D. The edgelordness does not deserve a C.
So even a functional 3DO game on a different console manages to do sub C tier levels. This poor company.
A
Yeah.
lot of the games just feel like they do the bare minimum to call it a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needed a lot more variety. I think we're kind of all on the same level of if it didn't feel as repetitive, we'd score it higher. All right, Joey, you got the next podcast episode. What is the theme?
Let's sim it.
I'm into it.
Cool.
I'm into it. One of my goals for the Retro Podcast this year is to do a lot of lesser known consoles and systems kind of deal. So I'm gonna concentrate on that in 2025 a lot. So my first two themes are gonna be kind of lesser consoles. So not 3DO, not doing that. I think we've played like every 3DO game that's on the console, to be honest, at this point.
Sounds like it.
I think we're running out. I'm going to have to do a list comparison just for shits and giggles of how much of the library we've played of the 3DO. I think we've only passed like one game ever, and that was Gex. Okay. That does it for the first episode of 2025. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Bye.
Bye now.